behaviour also addictive too, and that involved work, relationships, materialism, collecting, having a big car, having a small car, having the right car, having the right job, having the right career, you name it. Obsession about trying to be okay or perfect for you, and never perfect for me. So I've learned these days that probably it's better to have a bit of progress rather than perfection, and aim to have balance in life, because if we go to extremes of behaviour, like becoming addicted to substance, alcohol in my case, or behaviour, work, relationships, or collecting of anything, we find ourselves extreme in our living and our behaviour. So these days I'm looking for some balance, and I've been in recovery a little while, sober, one day at a time, and that's connected to substance and behaviour. So trying to be balanced, and sometimes balance is just something I see as I swing by, as is often said in the fellowship. So where am I now? Well, I'm feeling alright today. It's the, as I say, 24th of February. Where is this month going? As fast as all the other months, I guess. But life is busy, because life is sober for me. So with a sober head on, life does get busy, and then we have to find balance again on a daily basis. It's one day at a time. So how did I get to a place of sobriety? Well, family, friends, community kept me alive, and practiced tough love when they needed to help me make a decision or find a moment of clarity. Excuse me. Yes, where was I? Anyway, where am I? Yes, I'm sober today, and what keeps me sober? Well, and where did I get my moment of clarity? A long time back, that I couldn't do sober on my own, and that I needed help. So I got help to dry out and rehab, which failed, because I was in such a rage by the end of the time I was there, and then they wanted to keep me for longer, and I didn't want to stay. So I preferred going on the streets and being homeless, which was a fairly stupid thing to do, but maybe I had to do that. That was just part of my journey. So I'm no stranger to the gutter, and I'm no stranger to the boardroom, and these days I don't do either. And that's the gift of recovery. I'm starting to make my life work one day at a time, doing something useful and learning how to be a part of life all over again. So fellowship helps me. That's the fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. Keeps me sober a day at a time, and I lean on fellowship rather than anything else, simply because it helps me live life in reality and be able to be a part of community, family, and civilization as we know it. So all to the good. So what is AA? Well, it is a fellowship of people who help each other, and there is a statement of intent which goes like this, and I share it here so it reminds me where my roots are and where my sobriety is safe, and it keeps me safe. So AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. I've just realised I haven't even turned the clock back on, so we'll see how we go. This might be a shorter, overextended video. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And I'm going to pause so I can get my timing reactions and responses to the positive, hopefully, but also know that I can go to the negative as well. So part of the program is to understand that we can have a bad day and still turn it around, and then we can have a good day which can turn bad. So life is just like that, potholes and puddles all the way. And this book, Daily Reflections, helps me because it covers each of the 12 steps, one a month. So there's a sort of concentrated reading matter, if you like. So over 12 months, it's a refresher always to what is working for me. And today, February the 24th, it's called A Thankful Heart, which is all about gratitude. So there's lots of quotes I'm using on Facebook about gratitude. And it says here, a thankful heart. I try to hold fast to the truth that a full and thankful heart cannot entertain great conceits. When brimming with gratitude, one's heartbeat must surely result in outgoing love, the finest emotion that we can ever know. That comes from As Bill Sees It, another AA book. My sponsor told me that I should be a grateful alcoholic and always have an attitude of gratitude. That gratitude was the basic ingredient of humility, that humility was the basic ingredient of anonymity, and that anonymity was the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities. As a result of this guidance, I start every morning on my knees, thanking God for three things. I'm alive, I'm sober, and I'm a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. Then I try to live an attitude of gratitude and thoroughly enjoy another 24 hours of the AA way of life. AA is not something I joined, it is something I live. And for me, God is truth, God works through people, and God is love. So I don't necessarily get down on my knees. Well, I do actually, but in a strange way. I do some cleaning of some vital equipment in the household, and I say the Serenity prayer, which is acceptance of what I can do and what I can't do, and knowing the wisdom and the difference between what I can and cannot do. So where it says, I'm alive, I'm sober, and I'm a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, I wholeheartedly agree with it. And I was looking at some quotes today, which I do as part of my research, and what is gratitude? Well, it says here, the state of being grateful, warm and friendly feeling toward a benefactor, kindness awakened by a favour received, thankfulness. And that's just half the element, if you like, of what is gratitude, because I think it needs action. So some of the quotes or the interpretations I put try and fit in with what it is that step 2 offers, which is out of the insanity and into sobriety. Attitude of gratitude is in our daily actions, feelings and behaviour. John F. Kennedy said, as we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. And I then put, lest we forget, actions speak louder than words. And another one, grateful for now, grateful for another step in the potholes and puddles. Brian Tracy said, to develop an attitude of gratitude and give thanks for everything that happens to us, knowing that every step forward is a step toward achieving something bigger and better than our current situation. I put splish, splash, splosh because it's raining, but at the same time, you know, life is full of puddles and potholes. Another one, fellowship and friends help us through the dark times and lighten our burdens. And Albert Schweitzer said, at times our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. And that's how we do it. We share experience, strength and hope, which is a gift of providence, something far greater than me. And I'm just checking the time. All living is a two-way street. We need to be included, share and share alike. And as William Arthur Ward said, feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. And I added, give freely, expect nothing, and forgive everything. And one of the themes for me recently has been forgive everything, whatever happens, because if we don't forgive others, how can we ever forgive ourselves? And if we don't forgive ourselves, we can't forgive others. So part of my gratitude is learning forgiveness on a daily basis too. Actions always speak louder than words, and I end these videos with the Serenity prayer to God, or to your good conscience, or your higher power, whatever it may be, and how you pray and meditate is as you prefer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference is just for today.
DonInLondon, good evening, and all about AA. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And I say that at the beginning of these videos because it's an AA daily. And I don't speak for AA because AA doesn't have any leaders. I speak for myself and what impact AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, has on me. And I'm glad. It's been a good day, and a couple of weeks ago I agreed to do a chair up in Notting Hill. And Notting Hill is really a hill. It is from Chelsea anyway, and I managed to get there on my bicycle because it seemed like a challenge, and I did. So not only did I get to Notting Hill by bicycle, I actually did the chair, and I saw lots of people I hadn't seen for quite a while, and one in particular who helped me when I was just put into a hostel and had absolutely nothing, no plates, nothing. And they came with another person, provided some plates, some knives and forks, tea towels, things like that, some mugs, and did it with absolute generosity. And it was good to see them. They were making the tea. And then I saw one or two other people, and it seemed to me like it was a meeting meant for me to meet people I know. So, great stuff. And being allowed to do a chair in a different place with many people who I don't know, and a lot of out-of-towners from Berkshire today. And I talked to them after the meeting, and I also bumped into them tonight at my other AA meeting at Eaton Square. And they weren't able to stay because it was coming up for 9 o'clock and people had to get home for children. But it was good to see them again, and they'd had a real journey around London to different meetings. They'd been to Hind Street, and they'd found another meeting where there was a Step 8 chair, which is about making amends, making a list of amends we can make, and being willing to make them. That's just the list part, it's not the actual amends part. We have to make the list first, and then see how we're going to deal with it, and best dealt with a sponsor, I have found. So, what a day. And then to hear a very good chair tonight from somebody else who I'm getting to know just gradually, and then another share from somebody who's been away on a trip to get in contact with family and make life work again. So in many ways it's been a very good day for me. And in addition to that, I was up at 4 in the morning. Don't know why. I went to bed early last night, and I got about 4 or 5 hours sleep in one go, which is very unusual for me. So something's working, and I'll be going to see my sponsor in the morning as well. So I'm very connected to AA this last few days, and it's helped me deal with some difficult things I've got to do for government forms, and trying to find the truth of me and where I am with everything. So sometimes it's hard to deal with our own truth and find our honesty. And the problem for me in my honesty is about denial of what ails me. And being in recovery as an alcoholic, also having clinical depression and also having type 1 diabetes, it can be a bit of a tall order to admit and accept everything that means and impacts for me. And sometimes I'm not as good as I may be in dealing with it. But these last few days, seeing people over the years, recent years, just making each day work as best they can, keeping on coming back when it's been difficult and they've been out for a convincer or a bit more research, or embracing alcohol again. I feel lucky that I've stuck with the program and just persevered with great support from my family. So I'm a lucky person. So in the big picture, life ain't so bad. So coming on to the daily reflections for tomorrow, 24th of February, AA's book, Daily Reflections, written by AA people for AA people, February the 24th. A thankful heart, sounds like me. I try to hold fast with the truth that a full and thankful heart cannot entertain great conceits. When brimming with gratitude, one's heartbeat must surely result in outgoing love, the finest emotion that we can ever know, as Bill sees it, page 37. My sponsor told me that I should be a grateful alcoholic, and always have an attitude of gratitude. That gratitude has the basic ingredient of humility. That humility was the basic ingredient of anonymity, and that anonymity was the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us that to place principles before personalities. As a result of this guidance, I start every morning on my knees thanking God for three things: I'm alive, I'm sober, and I'm a member of Alcoholics Anonymous. Then I try to live an attitude of gratitude and thoroughly enjoy another 24 hours of the AA way of life. AA is not something I join, it's something I live. And as you know from my videos, you will know that my understanding of spiritual is truth, and truth for me is God. So what anonymity affords us in the rooms of AA is sanctuary to find the truth and how to be honest. And humility is the antonym of pride, if I've got that right. I think it is. So with humility I do these videos, and they're not about grandiosity, they're about sharing a message of experience, strength and hope. So whilst in most respects I respect everything to do with AA, the traditions and the spiritual path, I do question, and honestly I do question it every day, what is anonymity about? And for me it is the sanctuary to find the truth of life, our spiritual path. And it's not bigger than anything else, it's living life normally and being right-sized, no bigger, no smaller than anyone else. Anyway, coming on to As Bill Sees It, this book. All the readings I give are freely available on the internet, so just put in a search engine, AA readings for the day. Page 82, Trouble Becomes an Asset. I think that this particular General Service Conference holds promise and has been filled with progress, because it has had trouble, and it has converted the trouble into an asset, into some growth, and into some great promise. AA was born out of trouble, one of the most serious kinds of trouble that can befall an individual. The trouble attendant upon this dark and fatal malady of alcoholism. Every single one of us approached AA in trouble, in impossible trouble, in hopeless trouble, and that is why we came. If this conference was ruffled, if individuals were deeply disturbed, I say that is fine, or this is fine. What a parliament, what a republic, what democracy has not been disturbed? Friction of opposing viewpoints is the very modus operandi on which they proceed. Then what should we do? What should we be afraid of? And the answer is, if we're not afraid of the truth, then we find it. So, and if we were all the same, it wouldn't work. And if we all had the same views, it wouldn't work, because nothing would change. So I think and I feel mostly that it's important to understand our viewpoints and realise that with spiritual paths there are 6.5 billion people on this planet, and each has their own, and each is equally important. We do our best. The 24-hour day book from Hazelden, and I'm just plugging it because I find it useful. It's not authorised by AA, but it is written by an AA person. When we came to our first AA meeting, we looked up at the wall at the end of the room and saw a sign, "But for the grace of God." We knew right then and there that we would have to call upon the grace of God in order to get sober and get over our soul sickness. We heard speakers tell how they had come to depend on a power greater than themselves. That made sense to us, and we made up our minds to try it. Am I depending on the grace of God to help me stay sober? Well, as truth is God for me, and that's what Gandhi suggested. God is truth. I try my best on a daily basis to make it work, just one day at a time. And that is it. The spiritual foundation is in this one moment of now, moving ever onwards to the ever-present moment of now. And long may it be so.